Astrology is gay. Reading is gay. Crocheting is gay. And so is cussing. So be advised. Hey y'all, I'm Jenn. I'm from Oakland and I'm an androgynous, black, lesbian feminist and a lover of all black people.
This is Daren. I'm an asexual novelist, researcher, and bona fide comic book fanatic from the whitest part of Southern California.
Orange County. We're queer millennials with 3 kids and nearly 20 years of marriage.
This is a podcast about the realities of blackness, adulting, and relationships.
This is That Black Couple. Hi.
Hi.
Happy cancer season.
Happy?
Yes.
Okay, happy cancer season.
Yes. It's better than Gemini season.
It is.
Okay. We are out of Gemini season. And I'm really excited about that. Especially because it's time for us gays to be gay. It's Pride.
Woo!
Woo! Pride celebration. I'm going to New York City to go be gay in the streets.
Outside.
Okay, and I'm excited to talk about this. Okay. Let me focus. This is episode 10 of season 6 of That Black Couple, and we are talking about black lesbian visibility and why it matters. Mm-hmm. So I want I've been saying this the whole season, and I'm gonna keep saying it, to go grab some water. Now listen, my daughter has been talking about these people who get these Stanley Cups and how they are overpriced. She showed me a Stanley Cup yesterday. It cost $180 online. Yeah,
it's pretty ridiculous. And I know you saw the SNL skit.
Yes.
It was called Big Ass Cup. Yes. And it just had this giant ass human sized Stanleys.
Yes.
Yeah, that.
Yes. So don't do that. That doesn't make any sense.
No.
You can buy a pair of Jordans, and I would say go get Jordans over Stanley Cups. So just go to Target. Go to Target.
Or get a Nike suit.
Don't do that. Don't invoke Amanda Seals here.
What?
Don't invoke
I'm just saying. With those kind of funds, you could use them in a number of different ways.
She would say get a passport.
You could also get a passport.
Because she's classist.
Same thing.
Anyway.
A Stanley Cup, a passport, or a Nike suit.
Okay, my point is, don't get any of those things. You can get like 6 cups at Target.
Yeah, I got you one. And
yes.
That was like $30.
Yeah, you got me 3.
I didn't get you 3. I got one for you, one for our daughter, and one that's like a rotating one.
That's also for me. Anyway, the point is, get a water cup that is reusable, that is good for the environment, that keeps your water clean, even if there's a house fire.
Okay.
No? That's not what you want?
The fact that you're concerned about the cleanliness of your water
I don't
during
like
a house
floaties.
fire.
I don't like floaties.
I know you don't like floaties, and this has a nice enclosed cap on it.
Yes, it's closed. Nothing can get in there. I can barely get it open. I love this cup, y'all. I love this cup. It is so tall. It is mauve. It is beautiful. My water is cold all day, and it has a handle on it. Get you a cup with 40 ounces of water in it, and then drink your water. Stay hydrated. Be beautiful like Angela Bassett. Mm-hmm. Age backwards. Anyway, that's my point. Have a seat. This is That Black Couple. I'm Jenn.
I'm Daren.
And before we get started, make sure you follow us on Twitter and Instagram at That BLK Couple, on Facebook at That Black Couple, and look us up on the internets at www.thatblackcouple.com.
And you already know you can find us anywhere where podcasts are streamed. Actually, right now, there's a lot of shakeup happening with podcast platforms.
Why?
Some of them are going away. So Google Podcasts is going away. And I think Stitcher might be going away. And some things are kind of merging with other things.
Okay.
So I'm going to just say, if podcasts are streamed there, you can find us there.
Listen to us.
Whatever they're called, whatever website they live on, whatever app you need to download, find us there.
Even if it's Pandora.
Yeah. Also, even more important, go find that Patreon. It's listed in the show notes of the show. Go there, support, be a part of bringing this great and wonderful podcast to life.
Yes. Also help pay our bills.
Let's get into this episode.
Let's be direct here. Yes. Segment 1. First things first. Okay. We are talking about black lesbians today. which I am a member of that community. I don't have a proper lesbian vest, but I have been investing in plaid in the recent years.
You got plaid. You have some like moo.
I do have the moo-moos, the flowy moo-moos,
shawls and flowing garments.
It depends on what kind of lesbian you are, because
yes.
I was told yesterday that reading is gay, and since reading is gay, I'm a deep lesbian. I've got a lot of books, and I've been reading them, and I read a lot. So if reading is gay, and I also was told that crocheting is gay. So because of that, I mean, listen, I've got that too. So I think I might be just a different kind of lesbian. I'm the crafty, nerdy lesbian.
Michael's lesbian.
Less the camp, buildy lesbian, Home Depot, Lowe's lesbian. Yes. So I'm leaning into that. Like, I'm never going to be in a Subaru, but you can absolutely find me in the art section of the store.
Yes.
I've got 7,000 plants and they all have names. Apparently that's gay.
That it seems gay to me. I mean, I won't be the arbiter of that, but I would assume
yes,
that's a gay activity.
Yes. So there are other lesbians that we want to talk about, and I think there's a black. I'm claiming this. This is me claiming this. I'm calling it right now, and I want you all to note this down for when the black lesbians take over the world. But there's like a black lesbian resurgence right now.
Okay.
Like Tracy Chapman came out, and everyone was like, "Oh my God, I'm feeling feelings." All these straight women was like, "Where's she been at?" Because she kind of fine. They was feeling away. All the white men was like, "God dang, she fine," right? And I feel like there's a lot of like lesbians out in the world. Meshell Ndegeocello just did a tiny desk, and everyone's talking about it. Like, there's a lot of interest in black lesbians, and you know who I want to credit?
Who?
Hootie.
You know what?
I'm gonna give some credit to Hootie.
The fact that you brought this back.
I'm gonna give some credit to Hootie from Hoochie Daddies. Y'all been watching Hoochie Daddies? Okay.
Woody woo with it.
Woody hoo 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 Woody woo hoo. Okay. I like Hootie. Okay. Hootie is my boo. Listen, like Hootie.
Can we
from Duval?
Can we take a side track over to Hoochie Daddies?
Let's go to Hoochie Daddies.
I just really want to say I do appreciate that show.
I also do.
I appreciate it for progress and growth, because audio from season 1 to season 2,
it improved vastly.
Next level.
They said, you know what? We know what a microphone is, and we can make sure that people speak into them.
Also, editing up that game. It used to be the record scratch every time, and they switched it up and had some different effects.
They did.
I feel like people understood what a confessional was.
They had a confessional, and it was a dedicated confessional.
Now Woody doing a confessional didn't make sense.
Woody can do whatever Woody wants to do.
But I said I appreciated it anyway.
Hootie is Hootie. And you know what? Everybody on the show this year was a lesbian. Even the guest was lesbians. Like the dude with the overalls who always got his booty popping didn't come on the show. And I appreciated that he wasn't on the show. I was like, they done found every lesbian in the South.
Everyone.
All across Houston, Alabama, Mississippi. Every lesbian in the South then came on this show. And I listen. Woody tried to take responsibility for getting Brittany Griner out of Russia. Now that's too far. That's too far.
But I still love it, though.
I still love her. And the show's problematic as hell. Okay? But also, I'm really excited that there are so many black lesbian iterations in the world right now. Brittany Griner and Sherelle Griner are pregnant with their first child. Like, there's a lot of folks out there living their lives. The Brat and her wife just had a baby. Queen Latifah and her boo are living out and proud. I'm sorry, I'm stepping on your section.
It's okay. We are one, and it's just one section for all of us.
I'm just excited because my people outside.
I know.
It's nice to see black lesbians. This is the first time in my life I can honestly say I see like black gay women out who look different from one another. Like, there are femme lesbians, there are mass lesbians, there are androgynous and non-binary lesbians. There are all variations of black lesbians existing. And I love how Niecy Nash talks about her wife. Like, she be like, listen, I don't care where we're going as long as she fucking me up a wall. Yes. You get dicked down by your wife.
But you know what? That is what this episode is about. It's about how that visibility really is important. And a lot of the reasons that we have that visibility that we're talking about now is because of some of the lesbian women that came beforehand.
That's right.
They really had to step out into the sun and risk getting their skin burnt off.
That's true.
And that's really how we got to where we are today.
Agreed.
This podcast is supported by generous donations from our patrons and listeners. Become a supporter today by heading to www.patreon.com/colorcombosmedia.
You can stream the show on iTunes, Spotify, Stitcher, Google Podcasts, and SoundCloud. When you listen, please consider hitting that heart button, sharing, giving us a 5-star rating, and leaving some dope comments. This helps us with our page rankings and gets more listeners for the show. Thank you so much.
Are we back
We are.
with the conversation?
We ready.
Okay, now let's talk about. You want to talk about some white women, right?
I don't.
I just want to make sure I understand.
Okay, we're gonna reframe what you just said.
I mean,
here's what I want to talk about.
I saw the podcast notes.
I know you saw the notes, but what I want to talk about is the difference in outcomes that we see in entertainment for white lesbians versus black lesbians.
So you're about to talk about them white women. Go ahead.
I'm gonna talk about them for a minute.
Go ahead. Do that.
And then I'm gonna center the black lesbians in the conversation.
I want to see you do it. Go ahead.
Okay, so like I said, if we look at the entertainment industry, we do see some kind of different outcomes for white lesbians versus black lesbians, right? And I'm just going to list some names, right? Because you might not be aware, we're talking about visibility and how visibility matters. Y'all might not even recognize that all these people are lesbians. So I just want to, level set there. But when you think about white entertainers that are lesbians, you got Ellen DeGeneres. You got Kristen Stewart. You got Kate McKinnon.
I love her.
I like her. She's great. Ruby Rose.
I had a crush on her until I found out she was white.
Yeah, white.
Yeah.
White.
I thought she was like a little ethnic.
No, she's not.
No, she's white.
Jodie Foster. We love her.
We do love her.
She was in True Detective.
And Contact.
And, well, obviously.
The greatest.
One of the greatest
extraterrestrial movies I've ever... Yes.
If you have not seen Contact.
Gosh. What a great film.
Go find it somewhere.
What a complete movie.
Just,
God.
Everything.
Great alien movie.
Jane Lynch.
I love Jane Lynch.
Jane Lynch, she's funny.
She's hilarious.
We like her.
The bitch is funny.
Lily Tomlin. Legendary.
Okay.
I know. Rosie O'Donnell. Cynthia Nixon.
She all right.
And even JoJo Siwa.
Good Lord. I don't even know why we had to add her to this list.
She identifies as a lesbian.
She is 12 years old.
She's gay now.
And she looks like a toddler. She looks like a very rambunctious, unruly toddler. She's like if a toddler was stretched. She's like a Stretch Armstrong toddler. But still a toddler. Always a toddler.
But, the common thread that I want to draw between all of those entertainers is that they're all lesbians, number one. They're all out. They've made it very clear that they're lesbians. But I personally feel that how they identify is not something that has been a major hindrance to their careers.
I agree.
I mean, the only ones you could really argue that for, I think, would be Ellen DeGeneres and Rosie O'Donnell.
Who claim it's been a hindrance, but then look at their careers.
Yeah, but then it turned. Like, it was a hindrance at first.
Right.
But then it actually became the thing that
but also,
propelled.
Is that measurable? I think in some ways, to be clear here, right? I think that for a lot of white women in particular in Hollywood, there is this pressure to align with heteronormative ideals and this kind of white European ideal of beauty as well, which neither one of them has, if we're being honest, right? It's not just the fact that they're queer, is that they also can't align with these standards of beauty. I think that for lesbians who are or queer people generally who are able to align with those standards in Hollywood, they can manipulate those perceptions in ways that can be unfair. But what I also think is that they wasn't going to be sleeping with no producers to get no roles because they were gay and they're like, hey, I'm gay, right? And I think that those sexual pressures may not have been present for them, and that may have changed their career as well, because a lot of women in Hollywood have been pressured and assaulted and harmed sexually in order to be put in the positions that they've been put in. And we don't talk about that part enough either.
We really don't. But, I mean, this is where we are.
This is where we are.
Now, contrast that.
Yeah.
With some of the black lesbians in entertainment. Right? So you think about Raven Symoné. I'm going to say it correctly because she corrected all of us and said that's how you say her name.
Symoné?
Symoné.
Oh.
There's an accent on the E.
That's like Denzel.
Like Denzel. That's the right way. So we're going to say it the right way.
Wow.
We're going to respect them.
I agree.
Raven Symoné.
Why you do your hand like that every time?
Because you got to make sure you do the
it's
accent.
like you're making the A come out with your hand.
Yeah.
Symoné.
Hey.
I'm praying for you.
And then you got Wanda Sykes.
Oh, God.
Niecy Nash, the aforementioned Niecy Nash.
Although the bisexuals have claimed Niecy Nash, they have decided that she is bisexual, and I do not want nobody tweeting me or texting me or DMing me like, you know that Niecy Nash belongs to us. I'm not doing that shit on today. Mm-mm. I'm not doing any of that shit on today.
We're going to go with how people claim they want to be
Good
called.
Lord Jesus, Heavenly Father God. I'm not fighting with the bisexuals.
DeGeneres. Robin Roberts from Good Morning America.
I love Robin Roberts.
Lena Waithe, Cynthia Erivo.
And still I sigh.
Very talented women.
Beautiful gowns. I agree. Lena Waithe and Cynthia Erivo are both incredibly talented. And they just seem like dicks. Like Correct. They just seem like they're assholes to people generally. I don't know them personally, but didn't they both cheat on partners to get together? Isn't that how it happened? I mean, I don't need to know enough.
I don't know the details of all of it,
but that's
to my understanding. Lena Waithe was with someone and cheated on that someone with Cynthia Erivo.
But I thought Cynthia Erivo was also with somebody.
That's the thing. I don't know what Cynthia Erivo's situation was.
Either way, it sounds fucked up.
It sounds a little fucked up.
So I just want to say I don't like it. I don't like it. And also, we know that Lena Waithe had an entire show, The Chi, where there was sexual harassment and intimidation happening for seasons.
It's not had a show. That show's still airing.
Oh, I know. Oh,
just to be clear.
Oh, I know. I just don't like it anymore, and I don't watch it. So to me, it's dead because I'm a Virgo. It's
I know.
As my friend said, you erase people and things. That's correct. Yeah. But she had this show, and for seasons, there were women being intimidated. A particular woman was being particularly harassed and intimidated by her co-star, and she just swept it under the rug like it was nothing. And listen, queer people can actively participate and be complicit in harms against other minoritized and vulnerable people, and we have to hold them accountable.
Just look at Ellen.
Ciao.
Just look at Ellen.
Just to be clear here, but anyway, you finish. I'm gonna let you finish.
The last one I want to bring up was Amanda Stenberg.
Oh,
because I love her and she's great. And we're watching The Act Like right now.
Yeah.
And she playing herself and her own sister.
Yeah.
And my God, if she don't seem like two different people.
Amanda's like all of our like little gay niece.
Yes.
Our little gay nibbling.
You know, I love her. She's great.
Yeah.
And but again, the thread I want to draw from all of those people is I feel like these are actually all entertainers that have actually had a lot of hardship in their careers.
Can we add Whitney Houston and Robin? No? Too soon? Okay.
We can add Robin. Listen, and until Whitney come out the grave and identifies herself as a lesbian, until she identifies herself as a lesbian.
I'm just saying, I think we get Whitney. I think the lesbians get Whitney. Whatever. I'm just saying. Anyway, you finish. I'm gonna let you finish.
The point is that these are all people that I would argue have had an actual hardship in their career, and a lot of times that hardship has been linked to how they identify.
I agree.
Right? If you think about Raven Symoné, like when she came out as a lesbian, like the news around that was bananas.
It was bananas.
Like it was very much like, oh, we need to throw her away.
I agree.
I feel like my childhood.
Same thing for Miley Cyrus when she decided to be, bisexual for those 2 hours.
You know what?
Sorry.
You really acting up because it's time for Pride, but it's fine.
Is that not what Miley Cyrus did? She put on the queer community for 16 minutes.
She did,
and took it right back off and put on a cowboy hat.
It was a good career move.
Stupid bitch.
But that's the point, right? Even thinking about that in relationship to these white lesbians, right? Like it's almost like they're able to wear lesbianism as a badge of honor,
right?
And that makes them cool and edgy, and different, and not society's expectation, and that somehow is the thing that we want to champion,
right?
But when it's these black women, right, we want to low key hobble their career,
right?
You know,
Right. And we understand why, right? I mean, we know enough from intersectionality literature as to why this happens. We know that for Black women who are already racialized as masculine and Black, right? Blackness is not just a racial concept. It's a racial gender concept. It's a capitalistic concept. There's a whole host of ideas that are associated with Blackness that have nothing to do with race at all, or region, or ethnicity, or where you're from, right? I tell my students all the time, like, you go to a different country and your race, your body, your gender will be read in completely different ways based on who's colonized that country, how they're socialized, how they believe in what race is. And for many Black women in the United States, especially those women who are entering the entertainment industry, they're pushing up against these ideas of white womanhood, right? The chaste, white, skinny, heteronormative, just wants to be a cum bucket for her white husband with a tiny little penis, right? Like, this is what they want you to be. This is who you are in all these movies. Even Kristen Stewart's ass, right? In all them fucking movies that she made with that little pale ass nigga with the interned lips. He looked like he's wearing dentures. Okay? Don't sit here and tell me Robert Pattinson is fine. I don't understand where people get that shit from.
He looked dead in Batman. I'm sorry,
dead.
y'all.
He looked dead in everything. When he played a vampire, I was like, oh, okay, this is you just playing yourself. This
was written for you.
This is character acting. Okay. Right? And but she sat there and played that role like she was just so in love with him. I will never forget that scene where they're having sex for the first time and he blows the whole room up. And I'm like, girl, for that little peen, I wish a nigga would. I wish you would break my bed for that little bit of setup. Come on now. Anyway, I digress. So my point is that for Black women who are already not aligned, right, with those ideals and who cannot assimilate into them, right? You can't assimilate into whiteness. You can't assimilate into smallness. You can't assimilate into heteronormativity, right? And so then you're already in so many marginalized and vulnerable positions that they don't know what to do with you, right? How do we market this person if people don't want to sleep with them?
Exactly.
How do we market this person if they don't want to be on screen with men? How do we market this person if they don't want to be on screen with white men, right? Who are the norm, right? There's so many questions I think that come up. And I always think about Audre Lorde writing about this, being a Black lesbian raising her son and being a Black lesbian in the academy, and how she encountered so many rooms where she was essentially asked to slice herself into the pieces that were pertinent to the people in the room, right? If she went to a women's conference, they just wanted her to be a woman. They're like, please turn that Black shit off. Please turn that gay shit off. This is a bunch of heterosexual women stuff. And she's like, what? Like, I cannot be in these academic spaces that are asking me only to fight for parts of myself at any given time. And this is why, Queen Latifah played a whole lesbian way back in the 1990s? When did Set It Off come out?
Yeah, that had to be the 90s.
But didn't actually come out until like decades later. How you make the movie where you play the cornrow lesbian who dies kissing a blonde big booty girlfriend in the mouth and shit, and then a few years later you playing alongside Common. Common's your boyfriend.
Well, it's exactly what you just said. It's
Good
like,
night.
How can we market this person? What is the pathway that we can link them with mainstream society in a way that
Queen Latifah had to rebrand herself. Right? She had to come out, change her name. She's like, I'm going to use my government name. I'm going to start singing y'all jazz music. I'm going to be in plays.
In Chicago.
Right. She had to rebrand herself as a different kind of Black woman, a Black auntie who was shapely, who you could relate to. Right? Because that Set It Off shit made her look too rough. They was like, oh shit, we don't know what we're going to do with you. Right? She made that movie with Steve Martin where she was the hood girl and they was like, this the wrong direction.
Bring it back.
Woo! They said, listen, you're going too far and this is not going to have the longevity. And she switched it up.
But that's actually a really good point, because again, if you think about the list of entertainers that I said, right? Like the white women are allowed to be people outside of their own personal identity. Right. Like I just brought up Jodie Foster being in True Detective, right? She played a straight woman.
She sure the hell
in
did.
That show.
And there was a lot of straight sex that nobody wanted to see.
Very much, I'm a straight woman.
That's right.
In America.
That's right.
Right. In that movie.
And she's a whole lesbian.
Right. She's a whole lesbian in real life.
Yeah.
It is hard. You'd be hard pressed to find a really out and presenting like Black lesbian woman.
Right.
That is then allowed to believably play any other type of role.
Even Amanda Stenberg, who is a fair-skinned young person who, at the time that she was in Bodies, I think still identified as non-binary and bisexual, still played alongside a female cast member as a partner. Yeah. Like, she still presented with a person who was assigned female at birth, right? Like, it absolutely functions differently. Meanwhile, Kristen Stewart is still over here, still in movies with very attractive, very handsome male leads. In what universe is Chris Hemsworth interested in Kristen Stewart? But
that's the point, right? It's like we said, what's the pathway?
Right.
How can we make you acceptable? How can we make you palatable? Right. And white women, even those that identify as lesbians and profess to have no interest in men at all,
right,
that is still something that is palatable.
And that's why it's so dope to see these black women loving each other publicly. That's why it's so dope for Brittany Griner and Sherelle Griner to be like, hey, everyone, look, we having a baby. Mm-hmm. Like, the brat's like, I'm getting pregnant. I might be very geriatric aged for a pregnancy, but listen, I'm about to pop out a baby.
And guess what? We're going to make a TV show.
A reality TV show.
Gonna watch
and
it.
TikTok. And it's like, I love everything about it. And I think it's so important. Listen, Hoochie Daddies is problematic, but listen, these are young black women who are thinking about what it means to be a lesbian in society today. And it's going to look different for different people. But I think it's so interesting and so great that we can turn on our televisions now and see it.
Yeah.
You can find my mom and dad, aka That Black Couple, on the web at thatblackcouple.com. That Black Couple is owned and operated by Color Combos Media. If you would like to help fund our content, sign up at www.patreon.com/colorcombosmedia. Please consider giving us $5 or $10 per month to help us build our platform and grow our organization. You can also give one-time donations at www.paypal.me/colorcombosmedia. All donations are welcome.
We're back.
And we are back. Why you looking at me?
I'm waiting for you.
Well, I gotta start.
Why not?
I don't know. We in the reflection.
I know. It's time to reflect.
Oh my God. We're talking about pride. You just want me to start because I'm a lesbian.
Well, I can start. I'll start. I'll let you finish.
Thank you.
Just reflecting on this episode, I'm proud that we're doing this episode on Pride.
Same.
For black lesbians, because I feel like visibility does matter, and I feel like people don't really talk about black lesbians anywhere near enough.
I agree.
Like, I feel like we talk about queer people as a group. We talk about black people as a group. We sometimes talk about black men or black women, but I don't really ever hear a lot of discourse about black lesbians.
Or even like we talk about black gay men. I mean,
right.
People talk about Luther Vandross and Billy Porter, and there's a lot of folks I think who can call to mind immediately a black gay man who they saw in entertainment, in the movies, who they remember, who was allowed to be a black gay man. But if you think about it, there's just not a lot of lesbian characters from our childhood that we can that we can recall, and I think that's important.
Yeah, I think it's important. I think it's important to note that, number one. But I think it's important to talk about it and talk about how that is changing and why that change is important.
Right. And so I think I want to pivot to this article I just wrote for my column for Yes Magazine. Mm-hmm. And it's called Going Outside for Pride because I'm going to be outside. And I'm participating in Pride this year. A lot of us have not been able to participate in Pride for the last 4 years or so because of COVID-19 and all the sanctions around the pandemic, being inside. And many of us have disabilities that make it really hard to be in these large crowds and spaces, especially when you can contract the COVID-19 virus.
Right.
And so I think that, this is a special year for a lot of us. I wrote about this in the article where we're going outside and we're excited to be in each other's company, but also in the context of what's happening in the world, right? We know that, like I said earlier, that there is an active genocide happening on the West Bank in Gaza, that we know that we have watched our own president actively pay for and economically support this genocide on vulnerable brown people. And for a lot of people who work in academia, people who are tangential to campuses, we've been on these campuses with police who have been hitting students with billy clubs, spraying them with sprinklers, you can't spray with sprinklers, spraying them with hoses, macing students, pepper spraying students, arresting students, beating up students and faculty and staff. This has been a very rough year for us. You know, we're still just in the wake of the overturning of Roe v. Wade. We still are trying to fight the government actively for rights as queer and trans people. This is a lot.
Yeah.
The times are hard, you know, and so I think this Pride season is especially important for so many of us who have had to be inside, whether it be due to COVID-19 or the safety.
Wow. It's actually true. And I think you bring up the contentiousness of the times. And I think it's really fitting that now with everything that's happening, Pride Month is here. And I think it is that much more important that we celebrate Pride in the face of it. I feel like we're in a time where, with all of the negativity, with everything that everyone is coming up against, now it's a time where we have to be louder and prouder.
And it can't just be the white dudes, right? Like, a reminder that Pride started off as a rebellion. It started off as a riot. Like, there were Black, queer, and trans women. Again, Stormy Delivery, people need to remember her name. She was a Black drag king, a lesbian who fought with police when they tried to arrest her at the Stonewall Inn. She's one of the first people who catalyzed the rebellion that later became the first Pride Parade.
Yeah.
Marsha P. Johnson, a Black trans woman, was the person who was credited with throwing the first brick. Sylvia Rivera, a brown trans woman, was standing right beside her. These are people of color. So all these Pride events that are all like white people outside, like, I'm gay or whatever, like, that's cute and everything, but I just want us to always remember that Pride has always been about us going outside and fighting against the powers that have asked us to disappear, that have asked us to be hidden away from society, that contributed to so many Black, queer, trans, brown immigrant people dying in the 70s and 80s in New York City because police were in cahoots with the mafia. You know what I'm saying? Like, it's always been anti-police. It's always been abolitionist. It's always been anti-carceral. Like, we have to remember what Pride is and what Pride is not. And while it is absolutely a party and there should be glitter, it should also be people saying, fuck the police. And being hella gay. In public.
At all times.
At all times. As always, if you have questions, comments, or concerns, or you just want to tell us how great we are, email us at thatblkcouple@gmail.com. Bye.